Hey there, my name is Noah, and you're watching Gecko News. In today's news, we've got dozens of reptiles that have died at a zoo. Certain reptiles and dogs are returning to a Little Ray's facility, as well as the development of amphibians and reptiles over 12 million years. Now, our first story today comes out of Tennessee. As many of you guys know, there was a huge story that came out that shocked the reptile hobby at a zoo where around 33 reptiles unfortunately perished in an accident that they still know little to nothing about. TheTime.com was talking about the story even, so it was certainly a fairly big story. The zoo was talking about how these animals were actually ambassadors for their species, and a lot of these species were not only special to them, but they were special to the actual species. Some of them were a big part of their endangered species breeding programs, and three critically endangered species, the Louisiana pine snake, the Catalina Island rattlesnake, and the Aruba Island rattlesnake, died in this unfortunate accident. So far, they are waiting for certain necropsy results, but there hasn't been any definitive answer as to why this stuff happened. So we'll definitely do a follow-up story on this one next week. And now we're going to move into the segment where I talk to you guys about a whole bunch of fun stuff that happened recently to kind of brighten your mood if some of the stories like the first one are kind of darker and unfortunate. So this one talks about super dogs, and Little Ray's Reptiles returns to the center at Evergreen Park. I'm not sure. Hold on. This story is just talking about how super dogs and Little Ray's Reptiles are joining together again, and it's going to be really interesting to see, just because, you know, I'm a dog lover as well as a reptile lover. I'm basically an animal lover in total. I don't think I've seen an animal that I haven't liked, you know, some insects. But yeah, I mean, definitely something interesting to see, and I'd be willing to pay money to go see that, definitely. So super dogs and Little Ray's Reptiles all in one spot, definitely a big plus. So I'd recommend that. I'll put a link to the article as well as pretty much every article in the description down below, and yeah, you guys can check that stuff out. And just quick notice that this little section is brought to you by Movavi.com today. It's a very amazing, does that even make sense? It's a wonderful video editing software that I've used for quite a while. I tried HitFilm and it was too complex, and I tried things like Adobe Premiere Pro, which for some reason didn't work on my computer. But Movavi has been reliable for the entire time I've been editing videos. I started on iMovie on my phone and then moved to this software just because of the similarities between the two. It's very simplistic, but you can do some very advanced things with it. So double check the link down in the description that I have for you to get the free trial, and then if you want to get the full version, you can use the code NAE. I'm pretty sure the coupon code might be a bit different, but I will leave the coupon code in the description of this video as well to get a percentage off of the price of the editor, and you'll also be helping me out a little bit. So that's all cool. So you guys can go check that out. So, in the last story today, I always like to include some kind of educational aspect of this kind of series of videos. So, definitely the educational story this week is the fact that some researchers were doing some work on basically finding out the history, the biodiversity history of reptiles and amphibians, and they noticed that definitely in the past it's been much more like there's been more biodiversity in these animals than there is today. Like for example, there was an Asiatic representative of the extinct frog family Paleobatrachidae, as well as evidence of a giant salamander that grew up to 1.8 meters long, and that's as far as they know. It could have grown longer, that they just haven't found remnants of. The Siberian salamander, I believe it's called. There's so many of these. 17 species represent the entire recent amphibian and reptile fauna of western Siberia, which therefore counts among the regions with the lowest species diversity regarding these animal causes. And it just goes on and on, this article, so I'll definitely leave the link to go over this. It's just a really nice read, and it goes over some really sciencey terms. Yeah, so they were able to locate a whole bunch of extinct species, and from what we have today and the fossil remnants we found, we can trace back the lineage of tons and tons of animals that have gone extinct over the years and have evolved into the animals that we see today. So if you're interested in any of that kind of stuff, I will leave the link to that in the description as well. I'll link to that. So definitely go check all those links out. Everything I talked about, links will be in the description down below. This is it for the first episode of Gecko News on this channel. I'll leave a link to the playlist of Gecko News videos on my main channel for this video, but from now on everything will be on here. Alrighty, so thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.